Today's Metro News television forecast brought to you by Greenbrier Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Well, welcome in. We'll be timing and placing some daily rain and thunderstorm chances for our forecast ahead. Yesterday, we had some flash flood warnings here and there impact the state. Up in Elkins, he had a daily record amount of rain yesterday at 1.56 inches and more chances of thunderstorms today. The eastern panhandle, still a marginal risk of isolated severe weather today. Damaging winds are possible, and the Weather Service office is highlighting some wet microburst potential too. We'll have to keep eyes on. Another marginal risk out there tomorrow. For the total forecast, sharing this again for the total over the next 5 days, and take numbers with a grain of salt because locally higher amounts are possible too. Again, Elkins, you already had a daily record for rain yesterday. All of us included in that marginal risk of excessive rain. Again, marginal risk means local flash flooding is possible. And there'll be a number of consecutive days with these marginal risks here. Charleston, your chance of rain and thunder is generally slight today than a chance tonight. But there will be more favorable areas for rain starting today, especially around the foothills and mountains out there. Fly-saver forecast, it starts at home. Tampa watching for another chance of some showers and storms. High near 88 today. Northern Panhandle areas, low to mid-80s. Chance of showers and storms today and tonight. Lows around 70. Eastern areas, mind that isolated severe weather potential out here too today. Highs mid to upper 80s. Lows around the 60s tonight for our northern and central areas. Some chances to likely chances of showers and storms later today and tonight, and more likely chances for the end of the week and the weekend. In southern areas, I'll time and place some rain and thunder as well. Charleston, we have a slight chance this afternoon, high of 87. Chance tonight, low near 70. Chance Friday, likely Saturday. Low potential of showers perhaps Sunday, Monday, and then a likely chance returns early next week around Tuesday and Wednesday.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greenbrier Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greenbrier began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greenbrier Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greenbrier Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
From West Virginia's capital city, with news from across the state, this is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law, with 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barron and Metro News' Dave Allen.
Welcome to the 2 o'clock hour. It's Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Ryan Nichols and Stephanie Pauly, our producers today. Open line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. 1-800-765-TALK or text 304-TALK-304. It's Metro News Midday.
Metro News Midday is presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com. Join in by calling 800-765-8255 or text 304-TALK-304. Let's go live to downtown Charleston. Here's Dave Allen.
One step closer to the weekend. It's a Thursday afternoon. Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. We'll get to Open Line West Virginia coming up at the bottom of the hour. Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. Dave Allen in the host chair. We're going to Inside the Huddle tonight here in Charleston, a fundraiser for the United Way of Central West Virginia. And a guy that you may have heard of, actually two guys, two of the three, actually, that you may have heard of in studio with us in Charleston today. It's Tony Caridi. How you doing, man?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for having us.
And Brad Howe is here.
Hello, Dave. Good to be here.
I've been telling people all day, we've been doing this show, Metro News Midday, for a year and a few months, and this is the first time Brad Howe and I have ever actually met in person.
Which it's great to be here in Charleston, in studio with you.
In studio. And we're looking forward to Inside the Huddle tonight, and of course there's a lot of questions about the Mountaineer football team. We'll get to all that a little bit later on, but Tony, for you guys, I want to ask both of you, what do you enjoy about going out to events like that, about getting out, it's smaller? I mean, you do the radio show, obviously, and the three guys, but when you get a chance to go out and be, as my grandpa would say, out amongst them,
right?
How does that, how do you feel about that, about just being out there and talking to people?
The one thing that always comes back to me is that sometimes if you don't go out, you lose perspective of who it is that you're speaking to and with. And so you can be in a studio like this. By the way, it's an absolutely gorgeous studio. Okay. You guys did an unbelievable job.
I put a lot of work into this.
When you're in a studio, sometimes you just go and you're reporting, you're saying this or you're saying that. But when you go out, it always underscores to me the significance of the popularity of what it is that we cover and that we do. So I always tell this story. There are very few places in the United States where you can drive 3.5 hours if I'm in Morgantown and go down to the Mercer County line in Princeton and you see that flying WV. Or if I go 2 hours plus to the east and you're in Martinsburg, and last week we did Inside the Huddle there, and there were between 230 and 250 people there in the month of July in really hot weather, and there they are. So to answer your question, to me, it always reacquaints me with the significance and the passion that people have of just everything that goes on in this state, whether that's WVU sports related, or in these cases, we help the Boys and Girls Club in the Eastern Panhandle when we do our event there. This event with Margaret Ann helps the folks of the United Way, Central West Virginia, here in Kanawha County and other counties. So to me, it's always like a reality check of who's out there.
Brad?
I would piggyback. I think what he said there is perfectly stated, and you get to see the passion of the Mountaineers. And I would take it one step further and say what I think the very best part of our job is we get to sit around and talk about sports. And that's the essence of sports. You want to share it with your friends and talk about sports. And I think this gives you a chance, rather than just 2 or 3 of us in the studio talking about it. Now you're out amongst everybody, and you can feel their excitement for the coming season and listen to their thoughts on who they think the quarterback is going to be and have conversations about sports. And to me, that's what makes that world go round and round.
And I agree. And I've had people that have come up to me. I've been doing this for 34 years, and people will come up to me and they'll say, "Well, do you have any advice?" I'd say, get out of the studio. That's the number, because no matter whether you're doing what you guys are doing or whether you are playing music or whatever, we have a tendency to think that it's just all about a studio. And get out, whether it's a live broadcast, whether it's going down and having a cup of coffee at Tudor's or whatever with somebody, get out and get to talk to real people. You know, that's the best advice I could give anybody in the broadcasting field, whether it's sports or otherwise.
Yeah, and I think that every listener takes on, when they listen, it means something different to them. Some people listen very passively, and it's just kind of ambient noise. Some people are in certain positions in their lives where it really impacts them. One thing I've learned through the years with Mountaineer sports is that a lot of times I will hear from sons or daughters of longtime Mountaineer fans who, may have they lost their sight over time, and like the radio and listening becomes the only outlet for them, and it just really makes them happy. Or it's just this commitment of where they were at a certain moment of a big game or a big play that they'll just never forget. It just like as a tattoo. It just doesn't go away. And I think sometimes if you don't go out and chat with people and hear of those stories and learn of those stories, that you kind of miss, you don't have the right perception. And one thing we've learned, and this is amazing, and we're getting ready for 3 Guys to celebrate year 9. It was 2017 that we started 3 Guys. The incredible stories of West Virginia connections, no matter where, globally, where we get people that write in and go, "You're not going to believe this. I was in I was in Vietnam. I was in Ho Chi Minh City. I was in Beijing. I was in Brussels. I was in Rome. I was here or there." And I started talking to this person, and they're from Flatwoods. I mean, it's just like, and we laugh about it, right? We have the always West Virginia connection thing. But I do think that podcast, if you take a look at the numbers as to who is listening, a very high percentage are out of state, and it's transplanted West Virginians. And we hear from those people that it is their one thing that makes them feel like they're home. And that was an unintentional consequence of doing the podcast. That's not why we started it, but that's what, in a large part, it's become.
And this is such a fun time of year, too. On the sports calendar, it's that rare time when you've gone. Certainly baseball helped going so deep into the summer, but you've been a couple months without any action on the field. And we've been 9 months since we've seen this football team play. So the mix of excitement that comes in and fandom this time of year is unique and unlike any other time during the year. So it's a lot of fun to be out and feel it and talk to people about it.
Well, guys, and I think, too, where West Virginia is a state that doesn't have a pro team, we all have our teams that we cheer for, but we don't have a pro team. We look to our colleges. Sometimes it's Marshall. It's certainly much bigger. It's WVU. And I think that that goes a long way there, because this is, the WVU. For many people in West Virginia, WVU is our fill-in name here when it comes to pro sports.
100%. Absolutely true. And I think right now people are thirsting for success. What we saw when we went to Omaha for the College World Series was just unbridled passion. And even building up to it, the regionals and the super regional in Morgantown, it was like nothing that you had seen before. And the women's basketball team last year with the great success that they had, men's basketball, as they put it together as the season went on, and then they won the crown. And obviously the two soccers are doing well, and everything is going like really, really well. But still, that football is the big, that's the big daddy. And until that gets back to where we know that it has been and where we want it to be, I think that Mountaineer fans are kind of like waiting in idle mode, going like, bring it to me. I want to feel that again. And hopefully, and I do think we're on that path, and we'll get into that, but I think we're on that path. But that's really been the thing that brings this state together. It's just part of it. And the unbridled passion is unique because, as I alluded to earlier, there are so many other places that we go to. If you go 2 hours away or an hour and a half away from the campus, needle's not moving. Yeah. It does not move. This is 55 counties. This is 1.8 million people. And somewhere, as they say, from Weirton to Welch, Martinsburg to Matewan, and all points in between, people care, and that's what makes this special and unique.
I've heard that somewhere.
I heard it too.
I think I heard it on the radio, actually.
Might have been.
Talking to Tony Caridi and Brad Howe in studio. Of course, they're going to be at the Inside the Huddle event tonight at the Willow Event Center, which is located near Capitol High School in Greenbrier Street in Charleston. Fundraiser again for the United Way. And one of the things I think that's unique about football is that, and there are Friday night games occasionally, there's Wednesday night games, so on and so forth, but primarily it's still a Saturday afternoon, Saturday night thing. And, the high school games on Friday night, sometimes middle school on Thursday, high school, and then college, the WVU game, and then the pros. It's kind of predictable as well. It's really the only sport that's like that says every Friday night my high school team is going to play. Every Saturday afternoon or Saturday night my college team is going to play. And I think that goes – plus there's a lot less games. And every game is – Major League Baseball plays 162 games, okay? You can have a 10-game losing streak and still win the World Series. You're not going to have a 10-game losing streak and win the College Football National Championship or the coach is not going to stick around very long.
And isn't that the uniqueness of football there? I just said we've spent 9 months without a game, and yet we've talked about it every day since then. So it's the sport that we spend the most time talking about throughout a calendar year and get to see the product on the field the least. And I think that's part of what raises the excitement. It's the sport that brings you out of those couple months where there's no action going on. And I think that's why that optimism and the hype and the excitement around the season beginning is such a fevered pitch starting now as we head into that first game. It's what makes football unique in the ecosystem of college sports.
Yeah, that's the one thing. When you think about it, we talk Mountaineer football pretty much nonstop, 12 months a year in some capacity, right? Whether it's off-season recruiting, then spring ball, and now off-season conditioning, which basically is summer practice.
Transfer portal every day.
Right? So the one thing that hit me the last couple of years, football is a training sport. It's not a game sport. It's a training sport. You train more than you actually play the game. Baseball's not like that, right? Baseball plays games. Basketball plays games. That's why, to your point, every Saturday or every time West Virginia or a college football team plays, it's magnified like 10x over a regular game. And the outcome of the game, you only get one chance. It's not like basketball season where you can play that team again in your conference at some point during the season. You get one shot, and it matters. And so that's why I think the excitement, the hype builds up for it. And you're right. Every week is kind of like you're climbing a hill. And then on Saturdays, you're at the top. And how are you going to end? You're going to be at the top at the end of the day, or you're going to be at the bottom at the end of the day, because, our emotions in this state roll. There's a different stride and a different mood in this state on a Sunday and a Monday after a Mountaineer game, right? Your chest is either pumped out and up, or you're like kind of bummed out. And that bum out lasts till about Wednesday afternoon. And then by Thursday, your attention turns, okay, fine, that's done. Thursday, here comes the next game this week. But it impacts this state. I don't think there's any question about it. Wins and losses do that.
I had a very good friend of mine who was a minister, and he would say on Sunday mornings, I really don't like having to go in and preach if the Mountaineers lost, especially a close game or a game against a rival school, because he said, I know that no matter how much I've prepared, and I've got my Bible verses ready, all they're thinking about when I say, let's bow your heads, pray, all they're thinking about is, man, I can't believe he fumbled that ball. I can't believe they went
Third and
for it.
three. Can't believe he couldn't give me.
I cannot believe that they went for it. So the big question you guys always get, and I'm going to go ahead and ask the most generic question ever, is how are we going to do this season?
That is the one question.
That's the one question.
And I'll give the same answer I always give, and that is that just this particular team, physically, they're better. They're deeper. They're longer. They're quicker. They're faster. Now, what does that translate to on the most important thing, total number of wins? So they're better. So does that mean 4 wins from a year ago becomes 5? Does it become 6? Does it become 7? Does it become 8? Does it become more than that? My answer to that is, yeah, maybe. The thing about this is, more so than ever before in the history of college football, is that you don't have a good base to prognosticate anymore because of the transfer portal. You don't know at this moment as we sit here today what kind of an impact players are going to make. Now, years ago, we knew, hey, this many players are returning, and we know that this is what they produced a year ago. You would have a much better chance to handicap or predict what the next generation, like in 87, I'm really dating myself here now. In 87.
It's my senior year of high school, by the way.
Okay, in 87, I could tell you that the 88 team was going to be like really good. Why? Because I had already seen Major Harris play a dozen games. I'd seen A.B. Brown. I saw Eugene Napoleon. I saw Andrew Johnson. I saw the offensive line, Kevin Koken, and all those guys. I knew, hey, this is what they're going to be able to do. Now, 80 new players on this Mountaineer team from a year ago for the second year in a row. This is a second year in a row you've had 80-plus new players, okay? So the question is like, okay, so what is the next version of quarterback Michael Hawkins going to look like this year? What's the next version of now true sophomore Scotty Fox going to look like? How much did he get better? What does Cam Cook do now after 1,600 yards a year ago at Jacksonville State? What's that translate to when he comes to West Virginia, even though he played at TCU in the past? So I don't try to be evasive at answering the question. More talented, but you saw last year, I mean, we used like 5 or 6 quarterbacks. We used like 5 or 6 running backs. I don't know the answer. I'm more optimistic that everything is now in position to be good again, but I don't know what it's going to be.
I share his optimism, and I'll add into that, you also don't know what the other teams have to that point, right? You're going to play Virginia down in Charlotte, which is a massive game. You win that and start 3-0 if you can get your first 2 wins, suddenly you're off and rolling. Then your next 2 opponents come in. Oklahoma State has 75 new guys and a new coaching staff for the first time in 2 decades. Then it rolls into Iowa State. 80 new players, a new coach for the first time in a decade. What do those teams look like? So I think I share Tony's optimism. There's no doubt the talent's better. I think you're in for a better season. I think your first 5 games of this season are critical and will tell the story of where this thing goes.
We talked to Greg Carey a little bit earlier in the show, and the question I asked Greg, I'll ask both of you guys. When you look at a Mountaineer schedule, what's the one game that's the most intriguing to you? I'll tell you what Greg said later in case you weren't listening. What's the game that's the most intriguing matchup to
Well,
you?
I'll start with that Virginia game because I think that's such a barometer game. That's a team that won 11 games last year, but in the 3 years prior had only won 11 total. They won 7 one-score games last year. So that's a program that you feel like maybe comes back to the pack, and if you can win that in a neutral site and start out 3-0 with that momentum behind it, I think to me that's a huge, huge, huge swing game for this team.
Tony?
Total agreement with him, because I think, when Rich was in his first run here, the Virginia Tech win that he was able to capture turned everything around within the program. And it set them on a path in a forward progress mode. I think this Virginia game does the same thing because obviously the very strong chance you're 2-0. You get the UVA game. And one thing in football is that the momentum and the confidence that teams have builds. You go to 3-0 with one of those wins away from your home and you come back home, you're bouncy. You're feeling good. 3-0 can make itself 4-0, and then you go, okay, here it sets up. A loss there and you're 2-1 doesn't mean, the season is over, but it's a hindrance upon you. So to me, the UVA game, you got to find a way to get out of Charlotte 3-0.
All right. Inside the Huddle is happening tonight. Doors open 5:30, something like that. We'll start about 6 at the Willow Event Center, which is located near Capitol High School, and it's a fundraiser for the United Way of Central West Virginia. Got about 45 seconds before we go, Tony. We're going to drop a new State of Minds, right?
We are. Chef Paul Smith. We did this interview a bit ago, several weeks ago, and I'm very looking forward to it. As you know, his story.
Oh, yeah.
It's an unbelievable story. He's a wonderful guy, and I just would encourage people to that like Paul or don't know about Paul, watch it. It's available on all the platforms, Metro News TV to YouTube and Facebook. In fact, Brad and I are going to go down to his taco place.
Bad Happy Burritos.
Bad Happy Burritos.
So you always want to know about food.
Okay.
That's where we're headed.
Okay.
We're going to hit it.
You're headed to my land over there.
Taze Valley. Yeah, we're
Valley.
heading to Taze Valley.
Let me tell you, if you want to get there with Taze Valley traffic and get back in time, you probably better leave like 30 minutes ago. Yeah.
Should we go?
Yes.
Or are you stopping us? Like, will Margaret Ann be like? If we're late, will we be late if we leave now?
I'll jump up there and I'll just talk about you guys. Go check out Bad Happy Burritos.
We're on our way.
We're on our way.
Tony and Brad, appreciate it. We'll take a break and come back after this. Stay with us.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Need a truck that's ready for work, weekends, and everything in between? Right now at Dan Cava GMC, get up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500, or save up to $4,000 off all new GMC Canyon Elevations, offering bold styles, advanced technology, and everyday practicality. Come explore our all-new GMC Yukons, built for busy families and big adventures. All this and more at Dan Cava GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the road.
First thing I hear when those mics go on is you just coughing, and I'm just like, this guy.
You don't appreciate me giving that show a little ratings boost?
Coughing directly onto these microphones? No, I don't want it.
Hotline on Metro News Television.
Welcome back to the show. 2:29 on a Thursday. It's Dave Allen, Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. So the guys just left here, Tony Caridi and Brad Howe, on a trek over to Taze Valley. They were going to try to check out Bad Happy Burrito, I understand. I was telling them, I said, guys, it's going to take you a little while, because if you haven't been through Taze Valley traffic at this time of day, you don't know. You'll know when you get there. And you sit at the traffic light trying to go about 1.5 miles to 2 miles, and it takes you 20 minutes to do that. But hey, I've always said it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's up to you to entertain me. Gosh, how scary is that? It's Open Line, West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK, or you can text 304-TALK-304. Again, 1-800-765-TALK. That's the phone number. You can text me, 304-TALK-304. It's Metro News Midday. We're back after this. And now we'll go to the Metro News.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Greenbrier Industries, improving people's lives for more than a century.
Well, welcome in. We'll be timing and placing some daily rain and thunderstorm chances for our forecast ahead. Yesterday, we had some flash flood warnings here and there impact the state. Up in Elkins, he had a daily record amount of rain yesterday at 1.56 inches, and more chances of thunderstorms today. The eastern panhandle, still a marginal risk of isolated severe weather today. Damaging winds are possible, and the Weather Service office is highlighting some wet microburst potential too. We'll have to keep eyes on another marginal risk out there tomorrow. For the total forecast, sharing this again for the total over the next 5 days, and take numbers with a grain of salt, because locally higher amounts are possible too. Again, Elkins, you already had a daily record for rain yesterday. All of us including that marginal risk of excessive rain. Again, marginal risk means local flash flooding is possible. And there'll be a number of consecutive days with these marginal risks here. Charleston, your chance of rain and thunder is generally slight today than a chance tonight. But there will be more favorable areas for rain starting today, especially around the foothills and mountains out there. Fly-saver forecast, it starts at home. Tampa watching for another chance of some showers and storms. High near 88 today. Northern Panhandle areas, low to mid-80s. Chance of showers and storms today and tonight. Lows around 70. Eastern areas, mind that isolated severe weather potential out here too today. Highs mid to upper 80s. Lows around the 60s tonight. For our northern and central areas, some chances to likely chances of showers and storms later today and tonight, and more likely chances for the end of the week and the weekend. In southern areas, I'll time and place some rain and thunder as well. Charleston, we have a slight chance this afternoon, high of 87. Chance tonight, low near 70. Chance Friday, likely Saturday. Low potential of showers perhaps Sunday, Monday, and then a likely chance returns early next week around Tuesday and Wednesday.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greenbrier Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greenbrier Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greenbrier Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
When you hired me, you were 29. You seemed like you were 50 when you were 29. You were running that thing like a 50-year-old man. All right, we got to go get some tape. Come on, get out of there.
I think I've sort of always been 50, and I think I'm 50 now.
Yeah, me too.
That's
me too.
a great point.
Join Tony Caridi, Brad Howe, and Hoppy Kercheval for Three Guys Before the Game. Metro News Television. Available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at wvmetronewstv.com. You want to know what West Virginia is talking about?
It's good to be back in Morgantown today.
Now it's different.
I think it's mostly just business.
What I voted for and what I think makes the most sense.
Well, Dave, this has been a
bit of a controversy.
I want to thank the caller last week that said I sounded like Hoppy Kercheval. That was flattering.
Join Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows Monday through Friday for Talk Line on Metro News Television.
With support from United Healthcare.
This is Metro News Midday, presented by Salango Law. SalangoLaw.com.
Welcome back to the show. 26 away from 3 o'clock Thursday afternoon. Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit SalangoLaw.com. Open line West Virginia, 1-800-765-TALK. Text 304-TALK 304. Do want to make sure that you head over to Metro News Television and all the other platforms, because we get that new State of Minds with Tony Caridi. Mentioned it earlier when Tony C. was in the house here. State of Minds with Chef Paul. And looking forward to checking that one out myself. It'll drop later tonight again on Metro News Television and on the YouTube channel and social media as well. And if you know Chef Paul's story, it's a great story. It's a great story. Not to sound like I'm, being a little too melodramatic here, but it's a story of redemption of a guy who is a very, very and I say this because Paul's a good friend. Somebody that by his own admission struggled a lot with addiction issues, and has completely turned it around and is a very, very successful restaurateur, much sought after, James Beard Award winner, all the things. You hear him on Hotline on a regular basis. And, of course, he's got places here in Charleston. He goes all over the country with seminars and so on and so forth. So looking forward to checking that one out as not only a Chef Paul fan, but also a food fan as well. State of Minds with Tony Caridi and Chef Paul, dropping tonight on Metro News Television and on all of the other platforms as well. GoMart and your favorite WVRC media stations giving you the chance to win an incredible VIP experience, the WVU season opener, September 5th, when the Mountaineers take on Coastal Carolina. Become a miracle maker for the upcoming Radiothon, and you're automatically registered to win. And one lucky winner is going to get the chance to walk the man trip into the stadium with the team, attend a VIP tailgate party before the game, get field access before kickoff, and to get 4 touchdown terrace tickets. Once-in-a-lifetime experience for WVU fans, and you can help West Virginia's kids while getting your chance to win. All the rules and details available at all of your favorite WVRC media station websites. GoMart, the official convenience store of WVU Athletics and WVRC media stations. Let's go Mountaineers. Let's go text. Let's go phone calls. 1-800-765-TALK. Text 304-TALK 304. On the voucher issue, text says they never want to investigate corporate fraud, just pick on low-income families. It is shameful, says a texter. Text, read how TANF money came to be under Bill Clinton, established in 1996 to help end, and they put that in all caps, end child poverty. Here we are discussing how it's handled 30 years later. Government at its best, really? Question mark. Do we not right or wrong when finally admitted? Says the text. Look, I will say this in the words of Ronald Reagan. The scariest words in English language are, I'm from the government, I'm here to help you. And I'm saying that as a former government worker. A lot of good comes out of governmental programs. Nobody's going to deny that. And this whole thing with, imagine that, I've gone like 2 hours and not even talked about it. The whole thing with the clothing vouchers and the governor and the questions and the he said, she said back and forth and so on and so forth. There are allegations being made about fraud, allegations being made of even numbers. This is the percentage, and you got to produce the numbers. I mean, not saying it's not there, but you got to produce the numbers, in my opinion. This whole thing with the TANF funds is ridiculous. Of course, you can get cash from the cards. That's the way it was designed. Maybe the governor should have read the law, says a texter. Do believe we have a phone call. Marcel, you're on the show. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. Thank you, sir.
There's a lot of fraud in this state, and why don't we look into the foster parents who aren't treating their kids right but getting the money from the state to be a foster parent?
Okay. Without giving names, obviously, you have an example of this?
Just go to a local public pool and watch how the parents treat their kids, and they're mixed raise kids, and they're obviously all foster kids, and the way they beat their kids and treat their kids. That's not really right.
Okay. All right. Marcel, I appreciate the phone call. Thanks a lot. It is 2:38, 1-800-765-TALK, text 304-TALK 304. Text says, any of our conservative Republicans paying attention? In addition to killing the climate, rained in your neighborhood lately. Actually, yeah. Stupidity with coal, oil, and gas is dragging West Virginia backwards. Why not coal and why not now? Give me 15 minutes with Justice, Capito, Randy Smith, Charlotte, and Rainey, and they might learn something. We're dead. See, Omni, $50 million picking wrong winners. Ask them if we get money back. We buy a lot of clothes, might even keep hospitals open, but all of Morrissey's imaginary fraud might appear along with the deadly woke virus. We have met the enemy, and he is us. Pogo, if you never saw. I got the reference. Text Dave, I know you guys don't want to hear this, but as a taxpayer, we have every right to know if our not if our parents, well, I guess it is our parents, if our parents are using my tax dollars incorrectly. Well, I don't know why you think I don't want to hear that, because I do want to hear that. If there's fraud in the system, then yeah, it's my time. I pay taxes too. I definitely want all that rooted out. But what I'm asking, and it's what many people are asking for, is hard numbers. I think you take a look at everything because you're dealing with taxpayer money. I think you double, triple, and quadruple check it because it's taxpayer money. But it's just, to me, when you go out and you say, well, just me speaking, there's fraud and abuse. Okay, we need examples, and we need to know where the numbers came from. That's the only thing I'm asking. I'm not a mathematician. I do not do math. That's TJ's thing. I'm like Wilson. I got into this business because I was told there'd be no math. So we turn all the mathin' over to Mr. Meadows. And many of us, all we're asking is that we see examples, and we see hard time examples. If you got percentages, if people are spending this money, if they're getting the money back and they're spending it on beer and cigarettes, okay, show us. Show us where it is. Text, what's in the water in Marion County? Now Worthington wants to stop being a town. People are crazy in that county. Yeah, we had a story about that, WVMetroNews.com. Worthington is a small town in Marion County, and they may dissolve as a town. Because I heard the story this morning that Mike Nolte put together. They only had, I think, like 8 people that voted, like in the last election. And look, I learned a lot of this in my former life working in state government. As I traveled the state, I went into and look, I come from a small town. I get it, okay? But I'm talking about going into really small towns. I mean, really. And you just wondered, why are they a town? And I'm not picking on Worthington. I don't mean that. I mean, there's countless others that are the same way. You wonder, what is the advantage here, to be in a town? I don't know. Text, people are spending their school voucher money on beer and cigarettes. Governor, please, says the texter. On the law you had on, actually, it was the gentleman that former U.S. Attorney Will Thompson that has the School of Law down in Grundy, Virginia. Are our law firms losing out to the big out-of-state firms that come into our state with big advertising budgets, and while successful, undercut our local lawyers and firms and take our legal rewards out of state? Sort of like how big box retailers killed Main Street. 1-800-765-TALK, text 304-TALK 304. Text says, can't believe Hoppy managed to do a whole commentary without trashing Trump. Is he feeling okay? It's a good commentary that Hoppy did today. You can read it we played it earlier, but if you missed us playing it or missed it on the morning news, you can read it for yourself at WVMetroNews.com. Let's see. Text says, Reagan was a fool with dementia. I will stick with the U.S. Constitution that states the government was formed to promote the general welfare and secure the blessings of liberty, among other things. TANF is a constitutional obligation. Boy. TJ, are you listening to that one? 243 1-800-765-TALK, tax 304, talk 304. I do want to correct something I said yesterday. I said something totally incorrect on it, and I'm the first to admit when I'm wrong, which is frequently, almost daily, if not more often. We were talking about the backpack attack, which is an event that we do here in Charleston with one of our sister stations here in Charleston, 107.3 The Beat, and we've done it for a number of years where we give away backpacks. So well over 300 backpacks are given away. Next Wednesday, we'll do that on our lot, 1111 Virginia Street East in Charleston. Not only the backpacks, but all the stuff that goes along with them, the water bottles and everything that kids have to have today. I got my events mixed up, and I've only been here for 6 years, so I'm still on the learning curve, right? I said you had to have a ticket. No, you do not have to have a ticket. The only thing that I was totally got my events mixed up, and I should know better than that. No, you don't need to have a ticket, but the kids have to be present. So mom, dad, grandparents, you can't just show up. You got to have the kid with you. No kid, no backpack. And also, we have a lot of times, and it's hard. We know that parents or grandparents mean well, but they come up and they say, well, I got 5 more kids at home. Can I get one? The answer is no, because we got to try to space them out, and that's why we say we actually have to see the kid. So it'll start about 3:30 or so next Wednesday afternoon on our parking lot here at 1111 Virginia Street East in Charleston. No questions asked other than we got to see the kid. And we have other vendors that take part in it, and the kids not only get the backpacks from us and the school supplies, but they get to make a circle, and there's all kinds of other things that the other vendors are giving away. But no, you do not have to have a ticket. Your buddy Dave just kind of made that up out of thin air. You don't have to have a ticket, but parents, grandparents, we do have to have the kids here in person. 1-800-765-TALK, text 304, talk 304. 245, we'll take a break and come back after this.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Hey, I take offense of that.
Why would you do that?
Because on midday, the last segment, the first thing I hear when those mics go on is you just coughing, and I'm just like, this guy.
You don't appreciate me giving that show a little ratings boost at the end, a little boom boom?
You coughing directly onto these microphones? No, I don't want it.
I don't know where this came from.
Everybody.
I'm in another room, guys. I don't know.
Everybody.
Hey, Coop,
I'm just watching this.
Hotline on Metro News Television.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in store at Daniel's.
I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
We really had to go towards an LVAD. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
Download Metro News Television on your iPhone or Android. Search Metro News Television in your app store. Create an account today to get alerts and watch all live and archived content. Download now.
Welcome back to the show. 2:49, 11 away from 3 on a Thursday afternoon. Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. Open line, West Virginia. Let's get back to the text. Text says the Republicans are failures in Washington and in West Virginia. These people couldn't manage a dogfight. They're weak-minded people. Well, I hope there's no need to manage a dogfight. See Michael Vick. Text says all the governor has to do if he thinks people are spending clothes voucher money on beer and cigarettes is to see the sale of those things go up after the funds are released. It's not hard. I think what they're saying is if you track the sales and they go up after those. I don't know whether you can read into that or not, but appreciate the text. Text says, Capito says she supports our military. Where was she when Trump was calling them suckers and losers and didn't have the willpower to win, criticized our goals to our families, and set back and done nothing else but agreed with Trump. Text, all you people complaining about the governor simply asking where the money is make me sick. I've not always been his biggest fan, but we have the right to ask where the money is going. And furthermore, if you can't afford to buy your kids clothes and school supplies, don't have them, says a texter. Text says, Morrissey comes up with a different story every hour on school vouchers. He wanted to do away with it all and shift the money elsewhere. He's a con man, says a texter. Well, I don't know about that last part. Text says, Dozy Donald Trump says Americans are doing great. Food prices at record lows and gas is at its lowest in 5 years. And people say he's not losing his mind. If they believe that, then they've lost theirs, says a texter. Of course, says a texter. Of course, Dave, you're going to take the side of the Charleston Civic Center. You always side with the man and not the common people. Yes, that's me. I hate the common people. That's me. Now, if this was a story of the Coliseum Convention Center a couple nights ago, there was a kind of a big to-do about the Billy Strings concert. It sold out, and people had to wait a long time to get in. And, there was a break. And Chris Lawrence in our news department did an interview with Patrick Leahy at the Coliseum Convention Center. We actually played some of that audio on the show yesterday. You can read the story at wvmetronews.com. It sounds like there were some issues on both sides, to be honest with you, including the fact that the show had a hard start time. There was no opening act, and people didn't want to seem to go in the building. At least some of them didn't. And then they all tried to get in at one time. I'm that guy that when I go to a concert, it's just me, which I don't go to concerts very often. If the concert starts at 7 o'clock, it drives my wife crazy because at 6:15, I'm sitting in the seat and ready to go and going, all right, let's look at my watch. And she's like, well, you wanted to come in here this early. Now we're going to have to get up and move every time somebody wants to get to their assigned seats. But, Morrissey needs to resign, says a texter, for not telling the truth about the vouchers. He's lost the people's trust, and he also needs to stop blaming parents for his failures. Text says, I agree with what someone said yesterday. If you want to get school supplies and clothes for your kids and you don't have the money, get a second job. When my kids were in school, I worked Monday through Friday. I took a cleaning job on Saturdays and Sundays to provide for my kids. It taught them a lesson, too. If you want something, work for it. Don't depend on the government to provide for you. Text Dave, I'm sure none of the rich people getting all that Hope Scholarship money ever spent on anything besides what it was supposed to be spent on, because rich people don't cheat, says the texter. Yeah, a little tense and says little sarcasm there. Text says, what happened to this radio show? I've been gone a few years, but it's turned to garbage. I wanted to hear this and watch CNN, says a texter. Well, you can watch CNN. It's still on, by the way. By the way, this same number sent a text at 10:43, pretty much saying the same thing. And they're two different shows. Just saying. Download the Metro News Television app to follow Metro News meteorologist Brian Hughes and his team of meteorologists. They're on your radio and all of your connected devices, too, with the latest weather updates. And follow along on social media as well. Download the Metro News Television app. Make sure you do, okay, because there's a lot of cool stuff on there, including Brian's weather, but also a State of Minds with Tony Caridi and Chef Paul, which will drop tonight. Ton of sports coverage and other stuffs on there as well. 2:53, we're going to take a break. Tonight, Tony Caridi, Brad Howe are in Charleston for the Inside the Huddle event benefiting the United Way of Central West Virginia. That is happening up at the Willow Event Center in Charleston. And Weekly and the crew are doing Hotline Live from there. And we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll check in with them. Stay with us.
We'll be right back. This is Metro News Midday. Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
Of course, the LVA was brought into my life because I had a severe heart attack in November of 2024. And then I entered into congestive heart failure.
Where he was in the course, we really had to go towards an LVAD.
At that point, I was committed. At that point, I wanted to get better, and I wanted to see what this machine was going to do for me.
With this therapy, he's thriving, doing well. And not only is he living, he's thriving.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
Morning, TJ Meadows.
Good morning, sir. It's yet another beautiful day to be in pursuit of happiness, is it not?
I like the optimism. Let's see if we can take care of that by the end of the show today, shall we? Any thoughts, Mr. Meadows?
Talk Line, available on mobile, Roku, Fire TV, smart TVs, and online at WVMetroNewsTV.com.
Welcome back to the show. 2:57, 3 minutes away from 3 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon. It's Metro News Midday powered by Salango Law. Visit salangolaw.com. I'm Dave Allen, Stephanie Pauly, Ryan Nicholson, our producers today. Going on, actually the setups are going on right now for the big United Way of Central West Virginia event tonight. It's a fundraiser, and it's happening at the Willow Event Center, which is located on Greenbrier Street near Capitol High School here in Charleston. The crowd will be hearing from Tony Caridi and Brad Howe. Of course, you heard him earlier this hour on the show. And we're going to go live there now, and I'm going to introduce you to the man who drove the moving van in the middle of the night when the Colts left Baltimore to move to Indianapolis. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Dave Weekley. How you doing?
I'm just happy to be here. Happy to be here. We are on site. Yeah, we are on site here at the Willow Event Center. Right now, McIntyre Murphy and I are together, and I just asked Coop, I said, what would be the best way after Ryan produced my show yesterday for me to get as far away from him inside the city limits? And so we have set up shop here at the Willow Event Center. We're going to get some good fellowship today talking about WVU football because the season is right around the corner with Mountaineer practice, the team reporting for duty and going through their second workout today. So we'll get some old gold and blue talk going today on the program, in addition to all of our other regular guests.
Well, just know this, that when Caridi and Howe left here, they were headed westbound because they were going to Taze Valley. They wanted to hit up Bad Happy Burritos, the Chef Paul place over there in Taze Valley. I told him, I said, guys, you're going to sit on the Taze Valley exit for about 30 minutes, just so you know. So if they're just a little bit late, I'm just letting you know. That's where they are. They're at Bad Happy Burrito, or they were headed there.
Sounds good. That's a good place to go. You can hear Chef Paul on our show every Monday at 4 o'clock.
All right. Well, how's the food looking so far? They put anything out there weekly?
Man, no, it's barren, man. Like tumbleweeds are blowing through here, but my nose will pick it up. I'm cool that way.
Well, I'm headed up that way here in an hour or two myself, so I'll see you there. Save me a hot dog, all right?
Okay, we'll do.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, have fun and love somebody.